Hello, this is the Eversync tutorial video for adding a connection to a VMware host and backing up the various VMs as clients. We'll go ahead and get started. We've just recently created this. This is a trial version of our Eversync Virtual Backup Software. And we have our tab-based navigation throughout here. And we're going to focus on this client's VMware and Client's Summary tabs. The idea is to populate the client's summary with a list of all of the servers that we'll be backing up. And we're going to first add some VMware clients. We'll switch over to the VMware tab. In here, we'll click on the Add Connection button. And we'll go ahead and enter in the address and credentials for our VMware host. You'll have some options. You can choose to register all of the VMs that we find at the time we make the connection. And when I use the term register, I mean we register a VM as a client, and that's what makes it back up. There's some defaults in there, but for now I'm just going to get right to the point of showing how this works. So we get a successful connection message. Now, of course, you'll notice my list of VMs all running on this host that I've just added. I want to simply highlight the View Connections. Let's say you were adding multiple hosts. You can certainly do that, and we would talk to multiple hosts all at the same time. You could also, of course, make this connection to your vCenter server. And then with that one connection to vCenter server, you would see multiple hosts listed out under the host column, and each host would, of course, have its own set of VMs that it's managing. So we haven't done anything yet to our client's summary list. Let's go back to VMware. Once again, the idea is to add clients to that list. Let me pick on, we'll sort of give a few different examples here, but I'm going to start with my Exchange 2003 server. I right-click, and you can right-click anywhere on the row, and you choose Register. We'll get a little pop-up saying, you are about to register the following machines. Are you sure you want to proceed? We'll just say yes. We'll go through a short registration process. And then we get the results when we see that we had a successful registration. Now I'll click on OK, and if I jump back to my client's summary list, I now have my Exchange VM, my Exchange 2003 VM, loaded up as a client. I want to highlight a few other things right at this point. You'll notice in the top right this red Activate Configuration. This is sort of like our Save All button. We may have made lots of edits or multiple edits on multiple clients or made some adjustments, but those new changes do not go into effect until we activate the overall configuration. I'm going to hold off on clicking that for now because I want to show a few other things. So I now have my Exchange 2003 client in the list. It is now registered as a client, and we see that. If I take a small step back, let me highlight the status column in here. This is not something that you're able to configure. This is the state of the VM as we see it, as presented to us by the host. So that's just a quick way for you to tell if your VMs are running or paused or just completely off. The last thing I want to show in here, as far as adding clients, is the fact that we can add multiple clients simultaneously. You can control click or shift select and grab multiple clients all at once. You'll notice I can register multiple clients at once. I'll go through here, and now we'll register 4 machines altogether. So that's gone through very quickly, you'll see. And now I click on OK. Now I have multiple VMs showing up in my client summary list. So I can now begin to run my backups on all of these or on any of these. I want to highlight a few of the configurations for each VM. You can do that again by right-clicking either through the client's summary list or directly through the client's VMware list. But in either case, you'll get this edit screen. We could, of course, also kick off a manual backup or just simply let our backups follow our schedules. Once a backup has been performed, you'll notice you can browse into those VMs. We offer file level recovery, so you can drill down into there, find folders and files, and run restores. But we'll save that for a different video. For now, I'd like to highlight just a couple of options here under an edit screen. Some fairly simple items at the top: a name, a description. You can edit this description if you want to call it, describe it however you'd like. There is no password associated with that. Again, we have an agentless connection through the host. I also want to highlight our schedules. You can click on the drop-down menu and simply select one of our predefined schedules. As a default setting, we have created a VM schedule. This is a schedule that will run one full backup of the VM each week. We'll take a look at our Schedules tab to see how that's defined. On my system, it's set to run at Saturday morning at 1 a.m. I believe that's the default. If not, you can certainly customize and change that to add additional runs if you'd like. But that's our default setting. If you needed to edit that, if you'd like to run a daily backups, if you want to throw in incremental jobs in there, you're welcome to do so. But let me come back to my edit screen and highlight one or two other fields. We can choose to replicate this VM if we have a pair of Eversync devices or a pair of Eversync virtual devices. We can replicate on a per client basis from one device to another. We also allow you to define how long you'd like to retain that data locally on our RAID space. So my job recycling, in this case, I'm going to hold on to my full backups for 10 weeks. You'll notice the differential and incremental is grayed out. And the reason for that is right down here. We allow what is called change block tracking. When we run an incremental or a differential backup, we are really communicating with the VMware host and asking it to send us the blocks of data that have changed since the last time a backup was performed. We then append those blocks to yesterday's job, and therefore we perpetually push forward this full image. So we don't really have the concept of retaining an incremental job, because you'll be able to browse the entire VM as if it were a full, but sort of continually rolling forward. Let me go ahead and apply my changes. We'll come back in here just once again as a summary. We have made a connection to the VMware host. I register those VMs. Please do not register your Eversync Virtual Backup VM as a client in the client summary. This will cause problems if you attempt to do a snapshot of yourself. And now I can sit back and let them either follow their schedule, or I can initiate my own manual backup if I would like to. That's it for this video. Thank you.